Hello everyone, my name is Arne Bille, also known as Ernst, and I'm a Belgian concept art student. So about a year ago I decided to try my hand at actually becoming a concept artist, and I'm doing this by taking a 1-year concept art course in Antwerp, Belgium. I decided to take this course for 2 reasons. One, it's always a good idea to try and improve as an artist, and taking a concept art course seems like a pretty good way to go about it. But the main reason I actually took this course was to expand my portfolio, because what I've noticed is that working on your portfolio in your own spare time is a very difficult thing to do, to just sit down and work on something without really having any sense of a direction where you want to go in. And it has been pretty great so far. So a couple weeks ago, my teacher actually announced our first large-scale assignment. For this assignment, we basically need to create our own IP. This means that I'm gonna have to do anything from creating environments, to designing props, to designing characters as well. Now, character design isn't really a subject that I'm that familiar with. I have painted characters in the past before, but I've never really attempted to go through the steps step by step. So basically I'm saying that what you're seeing on the screen is my first real attempt at doing character design, at least at doing the thumbnailing part of it. Because I'm not really that experienced with character design, I decided it was probably a good idea to take things slow and make a lot of iterations before I settle on my final design. Mainly because I want to avoid getting into that situation where you started out rendering a character, but because you didn't do enough design iterations, you weren't really fully into the design. I want to be 100% sure that this is the character that I would want to go for and that I want to put into my story before moving on to the next phase. Because if there's one thing that I have learned this year already, it's that taking things slow in the preparation phase of your design and just taking a bit more time to really flush out a character before you dive in too deep and start rendering things out is gonna benefit you in the long run. It's probably even gonna save you time in the long run, even though it might not seem like it. Okay, so because of the realistic nature of the story and of the character, I was kind of afraid to fall into that pitfall of going too generic. Because especially when you're creating a realistic character, you don't really have that much room to play around with crazy shapes and silhouettes. So what I did is I basically tried to block in a silhouette which I liked beforehand, and then afterwards I just filled in the details a couple of times within the same silhouette. Because I made sure this silhouette was at least somewhat appealing, it didn't really matter which details I slapped into it, the design would still work. So I could really, once I had to pick from these designs, I could really just look at which details I liked most and which make the character stand out a bit more. Now, when you're creating thumbnails and trying to pick your favorites, a good way to kinda realize that you're on the right track is the fact that it becomes harder to pick your favorites with every new set that you make. So in this case, I made 24 first iterations. From those 24, I picked my 5 favorite designs, and from those 5, I made 5 new designs. Now, picking from the first 24 wasn't that difficult. It was fairly clear to me which designs worked and which didn't. Now, picking from the next set of 5 was considerably more difficult than picking from the previous set. And after I did this set of 5 designs, I again picked my, I think, 3 favorites, from which I made another set of 4, and these 4 that I ended up with will be the ones where I'll have to pick my final favorite design from, and I'm really stuck. I don't know which one I like more, so this is where hopefully you guys come in. Feel free to leave a comment on which one of these final designs is your favorite. It might help me realize what would be the best design to make into my final breakout sheet. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I do plan on recording every single step of the way through my design process. So you can definitely expect a sequel to this. Anyway, I wish you all the best, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.